Hello, and welcome to the North Coast Journal Preview. This is a show where we take a look at what's coming in the current edition of the North Coast Journal. I am your host, Tanya Schrum, and we are joined by North Coast Journal's managing editor, Jennifer Fumiko Cahill. Welcome!
Hello, Tanya.
How are you doing this week?
You know, it's by the time it's Tuesday, that's when we go to press. So by the time I'm talking to you on Wednesday, I'm like, it has been a long week. But we typically we go to press on Tuesday, and then I see you guys on Wednesday, and then it's like Monday starting all over again. And then the weekend is just like an inconvenient thing that happens in the middle of our work week.
Hopefully you had a lovely holiday weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Plenty of gravy. Although, okay, one of our staff members, who shall remain nameless, so as not to, name the guilty, went to a Thanksgiving with no gravy.
No gravy?
I can't say any more. I've already said too much. But just people out there are, it's hard out there. People are not, I don't know if it's long COVID. I don't know if it's the stress affecting our brains, but we are making poor choices, and just gravy to you all.
All right, gravy to you all as well. And we've got lots of gravy in this week's edition of the North Coast Journal, starting with one of my favorite cover stories of the year. We have the flash fiction.
Yay! Every year. Okay, there are several reasons that I love the flash fiction issue. Number one, you are all crazy, and the stories that you send in are always wild. Like, we can usually predict, okay, we'll have a little of this, we'll have a little of that, but there is always stuff out of left field, and it's just a pleasure to see everybody's imaginations on display. Writing 99 words or fewer does not take a lot of time. Writing a story in 99 words or fewer does take a lot of time. And if you are an editing freak like me, the joy is writing over that limit and then picking it apart and cutting out words until you get it down to 99 words. Can I get it down to 98? 97? It's a sickness. And by the way, the intro to this year's winners is 99 words. And the other thing that I really love about getting together for the flash fiction issue is I get to spend some time with some favorite people. My book reading nerds. So for the past several years, we have had a stalwart crew of local reading and fiction enthusiasts. First of all, Joanne Bauer. What's up, Joanne? How you doing? Joanne Bauer spent a long career in charge of the children's library and all kinds of things. She has a wonderful, broad breadth of experience in that genre and beyond. And what I like about Joanne is that her taste varies the most from the rest of the group. And so she really does, like when we get together and sit down and go over all of our choices, I feel like she makes me look at more things in a different way, and also more things that maybe I passed over and didn't give as much of a chance. And then, through her eyes, I am able to enjoy more, which is great. You all know Dave Holper. If you don't know who Dave Holper is, I guess you haven't been paying attention, because the man is everywhere. He was Eureka's first poet laureate. He's got a new book coming out. He's also got a book of poems coming out. You will see him at any place where there's a poetry reading. You should look around for a guy in a baseball hat. It's probably Dave Holper. He's very active, and he's very encouraging of other people to participate in the local literature scene, which is great. We also have, hey, Jen McFadden from Booklegger. the lady who always knows what you like to read when you go in. We have Natalie, who knows what donut you want to eat at Happy Donuts. And we have Jen McFadden, who knows you are looking for steampunk and, I don't know, art books and whatever else. So, and her former partner in crime, you may recall, Nancy Short, the other person that you used to go to in Booklegger, but now she is retired. And so you will be online with her in Booklegger, which is really nice. So we all get together and we share our notes on what we liked best. And yeah, it's always a great meeting, and we sit around and eat snacks and chit chat, and it's the best.
It definitely sounds like a lovely afternoon.
It really is. And you know this year's winner.
I do. One of my favorites out in the scene, and my favorite craft beer bar in Arcata.
Yeah, so Michael McLaurin, who you will see behind the bar at Dead Reckoning, won this year's competition, and he won with a story called Flight, which is, again, just a real quick 99 words. Shall we read it? Let's shall. Flight.
It's powerful.
It is. Flight by Michael McLaurin. When you see the sun start to go down, you move your ass across this field to that house over yonder. Don't you knock or make a peep until it's full dark and you see that lantern in the window. When that lady come out to talk to you, talk to her nice, and you do what she say, no question. You may have to wait a day, maybe two, but when she put you on that train, you head straight for the baggage car and you look for me. I'll see you there. Godspeed. We'll meet again on the other side. So stressful imagining that situation, right? And it really feels, to me, what I liked about it best was the way that this person talking, right? We have person A speaking, but I feel like we learn a lot about person B from it too. I get the sense of the speaker talking to someone younger. I can imagine a whole scenario. Dave Holper had mentioned when we were meeting together, he said this really feels like an Underground Railroad situation. It feels like an escape. And as Jen McFadden said, it's just full of urgency, and that you know that the stakes are high, and that intensity and that compact nature of those instructions really fit the flash fiction form. And they give us a story, even though it's not so much of this happened and this happened and this happened. It's about what's going to happen. And Nancy had said, it's rare for a short monologue to so thoroughly portray a distinct character, time, and place with word choice and rhythm. And she said she was transfixed. Really love that one. So
there's a reason why it won.
Yeah, and if you go into Dead Reckoning, like, tip the writers, you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's really great. And then we actually,
he's got great music taste too. So we're talking the full
really?
package. Yeah, because the Dead Rec bartenders are spinning the vinyl that you're listening to when you're enjoying.
Right. Very nice. A man of so many talents.
Absolutely.
The winner for shortest was Oregon Trail by Lori Rose. You may recall Lori Rose, I believe, has won in the past, but she's pretty much in here every year. You see a lot of Lori Rose in the flash fiction issues. And I'm going to read it to you real quick, okay? The Oregon Trail by Lori Rose. Mama's Cherrywood Bureau. Grandma's China. Hazel the Milk Cow Gone Lame. The Cast Iron Lye Pot. Father's Anvil. Mama and the New Baby. Westward Bound No More. This is 28 words, and of course, you could read it a number of ways, and Joanne Bauer read it as, okay, if you read it one way, you could think these are all people who have stopped and settled somewhere on the way, or they've made it to their destination, and that's why it's Westward Bound No More. But the rest of us cynics were like, no, these things were lost. These people died. So
that's kind of the way I read it, was a tragedy, unfortunately.
It might be a test of your personality to read this and see what you picture first off. But I just thought it was great that this person absolutely flexed on us all in 28 words.
And there's a motif of period pieces this year.
There are some throwbacks. The pettiest one of them all is called Mr. McPherson Was a Barber. And that goes back to, let's see, that was quarantine for not our most recent quarantine, but probably maybe polio or maybe, but it was back when haircuts were 15 cents. And anyway, I won't
I was
spoil that
thinking
one.
Spanish flu there. Yeah.
Oh, Spanish flu, you're right.
Yeah. The
You're right.
last
Because,
pandemic.
listen, we screwed that one up too.
Yeah, we did. Nothing changes generations later.
But there are some beautiful stories. Some of them are really funny. Some of them are, I won't give away. Some of them, there's one for those of you who have been a bridesmaid a million times. There is a good one in there for you, and possibly a suggestion for entertaining yourself out of town. Um, Neil Tarpey. We always say Neil Tarpey in the flash fiction. He's a frequent flyer with us, and he's got a Western story. So I won't spoil it for you, but it's the last one in the collection of finalists that we have gathered here. But encourage you to read them all and enjoy them. The great thing about it is you can pick it up for 2 seconds, read it, be transported, and then come back to it later. Always enjoy flash fiction for that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's another level of skill to be able to tell a story in such a small amount of words.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if you are, it seems like such a huge, and I'm not taking away from big book people. Some people like big books and cannot lie. But writing something small and short, like I remember reading some of the really short stories from American writers in, elementary school, or not elementary school, high school, when they would, you would read these like anthology pieces and everything. And a woman once, and I enjoyed them so much. And the novels are sometimes can be riveting, or sometimes you can be like, I just don't have time to get through this. Or back in the day, it was like, can I carry around Dostoevsky? Really? I've got to commute to work. But I think I was really influenced by a woman from a writer's group, who said to me, I realized that after someone has a novel published, they typically follow up with like a collection of short stories, because this is what they were working on all the time, but you can't really publish them until you have a novel. And she was saying, like, this is what we really love to write, is short stories. So maybe I'm just going to read what people really love to write and read short stories of people who are also novelists. It just was another way to look at it. And ever since then, I have looked at the challenge and accomplishment of a short story, and I have new admiration.
Well, I encourage everybody to pick up this week's edition of the North Coast Journal and dive into the flash fiction and get transported. And with that, we are going to move into Kim Weir bringing us the serious news. And Jennifer, fill us in on the work that she's been doing.
Let me tell you, Kim is booked and busy. There is a lot happening, and she is keeping track of so much over here, including, you may have noticed last week, the body cam footage was, you remember there was a police shooting in Blue Lake in July, and the 35-year-old man that was shot fatally in that with I think it was four sheriff's deputies were on scene, and they've released this footage, and everybody's been looking at it, dissecting it. Honestly, if it's not your job, I wouldn't recommend watching it. It's awful. There is a real we are showing more and more awful things in media of late, and I'm not sure it's any good to anybody. But Kim watched this footage and she wrote about the fact that of 4 sheriff's deputies on the scene firing, one of them shooting, I believe, 18 times, only one of them had their body cam on, and there's no audio to it. The description of the events from the sheriff's office involve the 35-year-old man shooting at the deputies. That's Jared Nelson. And then the deputies returning fire into basically a bush where he was hiding or, nestled down in. And it's a very intense video, but I think what is upsetting us, along with so much gunfire, is why wasn't everybody wearing their body cam, right? Why wasn't everybody's body cam on? It seems like a very strange break in protocol and not great. The point of doing all this police accountability stuff is partly to make sure that the public can hold those with power over us accountable. And if we don't have the body cam footage, then it's really putting our right to know what our police force is doing at risk. So anyway, that's something you should dive into. I encourage everybody to read the story. She also has a story this week about Rex Bohn, which you may recall that Michelle Bushnell's censure that happened recently. During that discussion, Rex Bohn came out, another supervisor, Rex Bohn, he came out and said, "I'm being investigated also, by the way." And I think he said something to the effect of, "I'm just going to say that before it leaks," which, just want to say, that is in fact leaking it. But in any case, so a lot of public records later and reading through, Kim has the kind of the bare bones discussion of what the accusations are. And again, the accusation is about, getting overly emotional, yelling at staff, that kind of thing. And there's a part where there's an accusation of favoritism toward a friend and on and on. It would have been great to speak to Rex Bohn, but going back for many years, he does not speak to the Journal. Despite the fact that, well, for example, I am one of his constituents. But he will not speak to the Journal on record, has not spoken to the Journal on record in a very long time. And it's something that Thad wrote about in an editorial titled, "We Need to Talk About Rex" at some point. And that Thad talks about the importance of being able to talk to your representatives and having a paper as widely read as the North Coast Journal get some sort of quotes, informations, his side of the story. Even a no comment would be great and would be honestly the professional way to handle it. But I digress. That's just my commentary on it. That's not what Kim is talking about. She is talking about what the allegations are, what's happening with the investigation, what's happening going forward. So we'll see how things pan out, but I urge everybody to read that one. It's a very clear, easy to understand lowdown of what to expect in this kind of investigation, why they're done this way, etc. And it's basically so you can have a good background as a citizen, as a resident of Humboldt County, to know how your representatives are being held accountable. So it's a good one for the civics class that is American life.
I also kind of feel like I should send over some calming tea.
Yeah, what is happening with the Board of Supervisors?
With the supervisors, they all need a little bit of a sabbatical, perhaps. And I enjoy my calming tea. It definitely helps keep
Is
everything.
that
Maybe,
chamomile?
yeah, well,
You think chamomile's going to
some
fix this?
I have some wildflower tea that really is helpful. Maybe, and it's all about shifting away from too much caffeine, perhaps.
Listen, I would love to join you on a caffeine-free journey, but it's just not in the cards, baby.
I just trying to throw it out there.
I did, you know what? Jen Savage, who is a contributor to the journal now and again, gave me a spray. What does this say? It's clear energy spray. It's on my desk because it's supposed to get rid of negative vibes. And
Be
no, I'm
gone.
still here. I'm still here. So
Guess it's just snake oil.
smells really good, though. Smells really good.
Well, before we wrap it up, you have a couple of things from the calendar that you wanted to tease.
I wanted to make sure that we had a little time at the end here to talk about what is happening over the week, especially the weekend, because I know as soon as the clock strikes December, we are all in
We're all
trouble.
very busy. Busy, busy.
Yes. We are all, I need to just ingest the calming spray, but it is a season of appointments and entertainments, and I want to make sure that everybody has access to what's happening. So a bunch of fun things are happening. Speaking of Jen Savage, she of Surfrider, hey Surfrider, which is a nonprofit organization that does ocean conservancy all over the place, and they do a lot of stuff with beach access, and it's wonderful work. Anyway, they're having their big black and white ocean night Saturday, December 6th. If you have a Superfly black and white outfit to wear, we put a picture of the orca, an orca in the highlight in the calendar, because listen, who else is a black and white fashion icon out here flipping yachts, looking good, living in the ocean, giving live birth? The orca. She's a queen.
And you
And
can be left or right orca.
that's right. So our orca vibes that you're throwing on for the black and white party, that is at the Arcada Theater Lounge. Matt Beard, big surfer and artist, is going to be doing live art at it, so it looks really good. And oh, surf sounds from Trinidad Kid and Checkered Past, because nothing says fun night out like going back to your ska days.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I don't knock the summer of ska for sure. We were all
So
there.
another option, if you're going to be in Eureka Saturday, December 6th, this is a big thing. Will Jam for Food.
Right.
As you know, food insecurity has hit Humboldt hard, and even harder most recently with the government shutdown. So just because folks are getting some funds again does not mean that the food crisis is over here in Humboldt County, especially for Food for People, which has lost funding and is always stretched thin because of food insecurity on the North Coast. The Eureka Theater is hosting Will Jam for Food Saturday, December 6th at 6 p.m. There are all different kinds of musicians from multiple genres that are going to be there, including, if you're a fan of the California Poppies, and who is not, Dash Rowe will be there. Brett McFarland will be there. Claire Bent, you may recall the jazzy, fantastic vocals of Claire Bent. Always good when you walk into a bar and a venue and you hear Claire Bent. Leah Crenshaw. Do you not know Leah Crenshaw's name? But perhaps you know the Bump Foundation, which is also another one. When you hear that coming in the doors, you're like, oh, it's going to be a good night. So, also B. Swislow's Mystery Lounge band will be there. And there's a silent auction. It's $30, $75 if you want to be a VIP. And you know what? If you were ever going to do VIP for food insecurity. Why not?
Absolutely. Well,
Right?
check the calendar. We've got lots of stuff going on this weekend, and definitely go to Will Jam for Food. Thank you, Jennifer. That wraps up our time for this week. The current edition of the North Coast Journal is available on newsstands to borrow. Pick it up, read it cover to cover, or of course you can find it online at northcoastjournal.com. I am Tanya Schrum. Thanks for being with us and staying informed and supportive of our North Coast community. Have a great weekend.